Hi guys, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fabulous and that you've had a good weekend, and we step into this new week ahead of us on Monday. This is just bringing you a little bit of Monday motivation, and I wanted to talk to you about detachment because I think it's a very important topic, and there's lots of different elements that are tied into the very essence of detachment. And I think sometimes we don't realize we're too attached to something, and whether that is a relationship, a situation, a thought pattern, a self-limiting belief, a circle of friends, the environment that you're in. Sometimes it doesn't always serve our highest good, but we don't recognize that we need to detach from certain things in order to, progress forward. And we could find that we are just going in circles and cycles, repeating patterns that are not serving us really. So I think this card, which is from the Power of Love activation deck, Detachment, beautiful colors on this card as well. So it's kind of, it's saying you're releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. So it's very important to recognize how we feel inside and how we want to feel inside, and to not worry first of all about external validation. That's something that is quite an easy thing to do because we want to people please. We want to do things that make other people happy, especially if we are empathic, if we are caring individuals. We want to get that recognition and validation from other people that what we're doing is right. But ultimately, we know inside ourselves if it's right or not. If we trust and listen to our intuition, that guides us accordingly. So there's no need for external validation. And sometimes detaching from that very concept is quite a challenge, but it's something that's very important. I spent a lot of years always looking outside and wanting people to validate my existence, and then I realized actually no, it's about within, and it's about your authenticity and honoring your authenticity and recognizing that you are being guided by source, and your intuition is that inner compass guiding you to where you need to be. And sometimes it's hard to listen to the intuition, or we might doubt the intuition, but the intuition is always there. You've always got that, what some people call that gut feeling, and that's our intuition. There is an inner knowing within us, and quite often we need to detach from certain things in order to progress forward. But the need and the ego can have something to do with this as well. When we're up in our mind with things and we've got too many thoughts going on rather than feeling into things, that's when we become attached to certain things and certain ideas and certain beliefs and certain thought patterns that actually don't serve us because they get in our way. Our mind sometimes gets in our way of what we need to feel and what we need to trust in terms of that. So another reason why a lot of us, and certainly for myself, I found it challenging at the beginning to detach, is because there's a sense of loss. When you think of detachment, there is a sense of loss, and nobody wants to go through loss. We go through enough pain in our lives through just going through emotions and general situations of life that bring us that kind of loss or that grief, that feeling of emotion. Nobody actively wants to feel loss, but sometimes we need to go through almost that rebirth cycle in order to transform. So recognizing straight off the bat that if anything from the past has been hurting us and affected us greatly, so much so that we're hanging on to these thought patterns that are now getting in our way because we can't move forward, we can't progress into new opportunities, we can't allow love into our life, we feel we can't allow love into our lives because we've been through pain in the past. Straight away going inward and recognizing that, that okay, that's brought me to where I am, and I can feel on a deeper level because I've been through those things. But it's okay to detach from those things now in order to move forward. They've served me up to this point, they've made me stronger, they've brought me that strength, they've brought me that wisdom, and now I can move on and progress in my life so it doesn't get in my way anymore. And that's through feeling it and not thinking it, because our mind might be saying, put the barriers up because I've been hurt before, and this is always going to happen to me, and that's the wrong way of looking at things, but it is easy to do. So I do appreciate that. But when we actually look inside and we recognize, no, it's got us to that point, that's it. It served us well. It doesn't serve us anymore for where we're going, because we're progressing. We're always moving forward. So that's fine. Leave that in the past and move forward with that knowledge. But that could be one thing that's getting in our way, is that feeling of loss and not wanting to feel any pain from losing something. But when we lose something for our highest good, we're actually gaining something, because we're gaining the strength and wisdom, and we are progressing on our journey. Toxicity is a big thing, and it is linked in with that as well, because we could be hanging on to toxic situations, we could be hanging on to toxic relationships, and we could be hanging on to toxic environments, and our circle of friends might not be serving us. And it's not to say that it's toxic in that kind of that makes you think of something really bad, but toxicity in terms of how it affects you. And sometimes we do, because we're all progressing at different rates and we're all on different unique journeys. It's very important to recognize that we're all different, and sometimes we are going to naturally drift away from people who may have been in our lives since school, and we're still friends with them, but we're not as close friends, because we've all moved into different situations and just through life generally, and as we get older and as we develop and progress. And certainly if you're on a spiritual path, you might notice a big difference with that in terms of your circle of friends. So it's not to say it's toxic as in a nasty situation, but if you're if you've moved forward into something, you don't share the same views or the same interests, and it just doesn't serve you anymore as a person, then there is a need to move into circles where you do feel that, and you are stimulated by what's going on, and perhaps you share the same passions, you share the same interests. So actually moving into new circles of friends is progress for you, and it's doing you some good. But staying kind of stuck and stagnant in the same situations, knowing that it's not right, is obviously going to have a negative impact. I did think of an example of this the other day, which is, have you ever been in a car with people, maybe family or group of friends, and you really don't want to go, and you get convinced, come on, you'll enjoy yourself, come on, have a good time. Now sometimes I appreciate completely there needs to be a spontaneous element. Yeah, I'm going to go for it and just do it. But if and you feel deep inside yourself, I really don't want to go, I don't feel comfortable, it doesn't interest me, I just don't want to go. But you go because you want to please other people, and then you end up not enjoying yourself. Have you ever been in that situation? Because I've been stuck in a car thinking, what am I doing here? I could have been doing this if I'd only been brave and actually spoken my truth. So there is a lot to be said for people pleasing and others' perceptions and others' expectations of you. Now we are all unique, and we all know what serves us and what doesn't serve us, what we like, what we don't like, how we feel when we feel bad, when we feel we really don't want to do something, when we feel pressured into doing something. But often we're too fearful of speaking our truth because we don't know how that's going to affect the other person, which shows a caring side. But in actual fact, it's not showing a caring side to ourselves. So, detaching from that concept of having to do things to please other people when we don't want to, we should be detaching from anything like that, because we should absolutely be standing tall in our truth. And no, I just don't want to go, thanks. Have a great time. You don't have to be, nasty about it. Some people are not going to like that, and other people will be like, okay, that's fine, but I wanted to include you. I thought you'd have a good time, but okay, I respect that. And it's kind of, because people, if we respect each other's opinions and viewpoints and how we feel, then, that would just make things a lot easier, to be honest with you. But we do come across these challenges every now and then, which we have to navigate. So thought processes, self-limiting beliefs, people-pleasing, and seeking that validation outside ourselves, and also, the toxicity element, because that can come from relationships, and it can come from environments. If you're in a place where you feel trapped, but you're at the same time you're keeping yourself trapped in that environment, that shows an attachment, because perhaps it's become too comfortable, or perhaps there's a fear element of, taking the step to move out of that environment, or out of that relationship, or out of that job. We can keep ourselves trapped in something, which is actually, when you think of the Eight of Swords in the tarot deck, there is that feeling of being trapped, but also the blindfolded element there. And with the swords of being, the mind and thoughts, it's very much, you can free yourself from those confines, because it's all in your mind. And getting out of that kind of headspace, and recognizing that actually, no, if I take the reins and I progress to what I want to do. Sometimes we find that because of situations we can't make immediate moves, for example when you're looking at environment situations, because of a number of factors, but plans could be put in place if it's something that you want to work towards, rather than staying in the same place. Oh, things will change, it's fine, or this is how my life should be. And it's like, no, if that doesn't feel right to you, then absolutely not. So it's detaching from those thought processes and the things that we put on ourselves, and the expectations of others that we carry on our shoulders, and even from a society point of view, how things should look. It's almost, you should be married by a certain age, you should be having kids by a certain age. Why? Why does it have to be that way? It doesn't, because things happen in divine timing, and things happen when they need to happen. But there is that societal expectation that often we can become kind of attached to, which we need to detach from, because we're living our own journey, and we're living our own life as we are living it. So I feel, to kind of draw this to a close, it's very much about honouring authenticity and truth, and what you believe and feel inside and know is true for you. And anything that doesn't serve you in terms of thought patterns and connections, and your environment or your job, if it's anything that is causing any distress, but you find that you keep yourself in those patterns, there is a need to go inward and do some reflection, maybe meditation, and just some quiet time to really think things through. But not only to think things through, to feel how you feel, and to recognize that nothing is permanent, and we can we progress forward because we make changes, and sometimes we have to go through hard choices to make those changes, but ultimately we grow as a result regardless, and we do become stronger. So anything that you're going through that you're thinking, oh my goodness, I can't do this because I can't make the move because my parents told me I need to do this, or I need to follow this job because everybody in my family does the same, or my friends won't like me if I turn around and tell them that I don't want to go to this place on the weekend. It's all about owning your truth. So I think having the confidence and courage to do that, and following your interests and your passions and what makes sense for you, attaching yourself to the right things that make you happy, and detaching from those things that don't serve you and that don't serve your highest good. So that was just a bit of Monday motivation from me. I felt compelled to speak about detachment because I think it is something that we easily get ourselves attached to certain beliefs and thought processes that don't serve us, but they become a part of normal life. And actually, when you look inside and you recognize, I've got my own life to live, and I've got my own intuition to follow, and I know what I need to do inherently inside me. I've got that wisdom, and I can learn from the past and just put that to one side. It's been and gone. It's got me to this point, but going forward, this is how it's going to be for me. And I think we can all do that. So I wish you all the best, and until the next video, I will see you soon. And my website is www.liftingconsciousness.com. I'm also on Instagram at Lifting Consciousness Coach. And if you'd like to subscribe to see the videos as they get posted, and the other content that I'll be posting on here, click on subscribe and the notification bell. And there will be things coming up, and there is something exciting coming up, which is a vlogcast with 2 other people, on thought-provoking topics, and that's going to be brilliant and really exciting to get into. So yeah, so I wish you all the best for the week ahead, and take care. See you soon. God bless.